Evening, everyone. It is 5:33, and this is your closing comment for today, Wednesday, the 21st of February. So it was kind of an interesting day. Futures started on the soft side. The market went sideways to lower most of the day, and then around 3:30, we had a move that took the Dow, the S&P, and the Dow Jones Transports into the green. And after being down almost 200, the Nasdaq finished down 49.91, and I'm going to say that it's probably going to be higher in the morning on the basis of the Nvda earnings that came out here after the close, but I'll get to that in a second. We had a great trade today, and that's what is on the screen. We bought the UNG calls for 47 and 48 cents down here around the lows. They closed higher, and then today, nat gas closed 186.3, and that was up almost 22 cents. Clearly a higher high and a higher low. We're going to get into some supply not very far from here around the 193 level, but we did have a sale on the 100% up rule that turned out to be 186%. We sold half at the open at $1.37. Excuse me. And that actually, I think, remained pretty much the high until it went through there at the end of the day, along with the rest of the energy. In fact, uh, UNG closed 1668 up $1.91, and those options did close 145. And of course, we still have half. So that was a pretty decent trade. Also, the oil, excuse me, is showing some strength. It was up 87 cents on the day today. Um, and it looks like it was down just about to the 20-day moving average and bounced off that, closed pretty close to on the high. If it goes through here, I think an assault on 79 and a half, if we close above 79 and a half, I don't see much of a problem until we get to 83, 84. So kind of bullish there, and we own a bunch of these stocks. I think Marathon Oil reported after the close and beat. ExxonMobil was up, Pioneer was up during the day, and so was Hess and the Devon that we bought the other day. Those stocks were all higher, up 1.5% in the Devon, up 1.25% in the Hess, and up 2% for Pioneer. Um, Earnings after the close. Well, let's start with Palo Alto Networks. They reported a beat, but gave some uh, kind of what people thought was pure, not quite what they thought the guidance should look like, and of course they took that down, and hugely down. The stock traded to close at 261.81, and that was down 28%, or $104.28. The stock has since moved back up to 266.5, 267 on the Nvidia news. Okay, so let's get to the big one. Nvidia had a range today of 688 to 662. It closed the day at 674.72, and that was down 1980. After the earnings came out, we went slightly higher, not a new high on the day, but slightly higher. And then we went down and made a new low on the day, down around, let me get you the exact number. The exact number was 645. It then turned up and currently is trading 729, and that's up 34.48. That's up 5%, but it's also over $80 off the low that it made. As I said, that's why I think the Palo Alto is gaining some ground. Wouldn't surprise me to see a pretty big day in all of the computer related stocks. So, um, also after the close, we had earnings from Rivian, which was a miss with poor guidance. The stock had closed at 15.39, down a half a dollar. It got as low as 12.71. The last is 13.15, and that is down $2.74 or 17%. The FOMC numbers were a problem. The 20-year Treasury auction that Rick Santelli gave a D minus was a problem. And tomorrow it looks like we'll probably, all we have before the open will be claims, both current claims, new claims, and um, continuing claims. The numbers there, briefing.com says the weekly claims ought to be about 216. That's versus a 212 last week. Continuing claims last week was 1.895. They'd really like to see that move above 1.9 million in order to give a little bit of a look at the slowdown. S&P Global U.S. Manufacturing PMI and February S&P Global Services PMI both come at 945. At 10 o'clock, we have existing home sales. Consensus is 3.99 million. Last month was 3.78. We have natural gas inventories at 10:30, and at 11 o'clock, we have the weekly crude inventories. We also have earnings tomorrow morning for PG&E, Pioneer, which we're long, uh, Dr. Pepper, Newmont Gold Corp, Wayfair, Moderna are some of the names that report prior to the open. All right, folks. I hope you all had as good a day as we did. The year to date number for the option account is 14%. There's another 4.5% in the open position that we have on the second half of the UNG. And we also went long XLE calls this afternoon. Have a good one. I'll be back in the morning.